Jeff, welcome. What are the most common nutrition pitfalls that people face during these holidays? You can pick it up from there. Probably you can just say your name again as we continue.
Thank you so much, Chris. Glad to be back here again for this continuation of this conversation that we started previously. And what a better place to start from, but today to talk about the common nutrition mistakes and challenges that we encounter, particularly during this festive season. Japheth Winston is my name, RDN, registered dietitian and nutritionist. I'm based at Placid Nutrition Center in Nairobi, Kenya. Premier nutrition center where we manage and work with different clients to help them to attain their nutrition and health goals. And so, right to dive into the topic that you're having today for the common nutrition mistakes that we have, I want to talk about four common nutrition mistakes that we have during the festive season. Remember, festive season comes with a lot of things. Excitement, overindulgence in food. Sometimes because of travels, you may not have your sufficient foods, for example. Because of travels, again, you may not be able to stick to your routine. So I will speak about four things. Number one, I'll talk about skipping meals. I'll talk about forgetting important food groups, for example, proteins. Or carbohydrates. Number three, I'll talk about indulgence in alcohol and sugary drinks. And then number four, that was number four, yes. Number four, I'll talk about not drinking enough water. Then finally, I'll talk about forgetting or letting go your health routine practices. So I start from
Let's start with drinking water. because I have this. I remember when I was growing up, and I used to stay with my grandma. One day, because I used to take a lot of water, she told me one day that maji utakonda, maji acha kukunywa maji mingi utakonda. and apparently I think I grew up knowing that probably that was the cause, because I was a bit I'm not that big. I used to be I think nowadays I've a bit gained some small weight, but I used to be very thin, to use that kind of word, because I remember at one time in class I used to be the smallest, the shortest, and the thinnest. And one day the teacher came in, actually during Christmas, and before we broke to Christmas, and the teacher said we need to buy a chicken equivalent to a more. That's my other name. and the student. So I grew up knowing that probably the main cause of me not gaining weight was too much water. Demystify that notion for me, please.
Chris, just to demystify that notion, I'll start by supporting part of the theory part of taking too much water may cause you to be thin. To some extent, it is not true, but to some extent, it is true. Why? It is true because, again, if you take too much water on an empty tummy, for example, and you fill up your volumes of the stomach has limited volume or capacity to contain food, for example. So if I pile up a lot of water within my tummy, it means I will occupy a percentage of that volume. So when I ingest, then there'll be a smaller percentage for the food to come in. So if for a kid, for example, they'll tend to feel fuller faster if they've taken too much of drinks, water, uji, for example, and this fluid stuff. So that is why, for example, you want to give your kid food, then you give them water afterwards, after they've eaten. So because of the limited volume of the small kid's tummy, then may contribute to that notion of utakonda, because now you not ingest as much. On the flip side, again, it is not does not cause you to grow thin even as a child. So the only thing that may cause you grow thin is because it will affect your intake, the volume of food that you will take. So you ingest less. So that people may say you're growing thin because you're taking too much water. But otherwise, a big percentage of the body is purely water for FYI. So a percentage of the body is actually it's almost 80 to 90% water. When you do a body analysis, body composition analysis, I'll talk about what is a body composition analysis at a later stage in this discussion. When you do a body composition analysis test, it will show you that a big percentage of your weight is water because
Mhm.
um, the cells are made up of water. We have intracellular water, extracellular water. A lot of this thing is water. So it is important to take adequate amount of water when you like, for example, like right now we are in the festival. So the reason why we are classifying water and the mistakes during festivities is because many people will not take enough water during this time. Why? Because, for example, you're traveling, maybe you've gone to a different environment, it's too cold, you're not able to take enough water. Sometimes you're going out for fun activities like hiking, walking,
Mhm.
jumping, bungee jumping, skydiving, these kind of things. They are labor intensive. They cause you to dehydrate through sweating, but people may not compensate that water loss by taking back enough water on that side. And then, of course, we
Mhm.
have the people who take one too many for the road. I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
I
do.
like I like the way you are pretending. So there are people who take one too many for the road. So when you do this time of festivities, there are people who use recreational drinks. Let me use the word recreational drinks so that I don't stigmatize people. The people who use recreational drinks like alcohol, wine, spirits, beer, whatever, those kind of things, gin and the groups of drinks. These, most of them are diuretics. Diuretics mean they draw water from the body. So you end up feeling more dehydrated. You feel like you have less water within the body. So if you are in the group of people that ingest or use recreational drinks during the festivities, of course, we are recommended to avoid as much as we can. But if you use this, then it's important also to rehydrate consistently by taking water so that you don't end up feeling dehydrated because of consumption of alcohol. WHO recommends that we take 8 to 10 glasses of water every day. That is roughly 2 liters of water, 2 to 2.5 liters of water. This is important to keep you hydrated, to keep you from feeling those feelings of you're tired, you're lethargic, and those kind of things. So it is important to maintain your water intake during this holiday period. How can you continue the water intake during this time? If you're traveling, you can carry a refillable water bottle. If you're going for meals, you can take foods that are have high water content, like a vegetable salad, like fruit salad, a fresh fruit juice, and of course a glass of water. So it's important also to maintain your intake of water during this.
You're right. I see my grandma was very wise. Whatever she could see sitting down, as
You're
they
they
normally
try
say.
to remember to
Anyway, let's go. Let's go. You mentioned some 4 points. Yes, please.
Okay, before I go to the other point, there's an
Mm,
easy way. There are easy ways you can know when you're not taking enough water. For example, the
mm,
easiest way to know when you're not taking enough water, generally, for example, on your face, when you're taking
mm,
enough water, you should be able to have a glowing, radiant skin on the face because you're having enough water. When you're not taking enough water, you have dry, uh, your face doesn't look lively. You look, the
mm,
things you may have dried lips or cracked lips. You may have
mm,
your face looks dry, not oily. So it's those are some of the things that can tell you when you're not taking water. Again, things like when you go to for the short cut, your urine, the color of your urine can tell you if
mm.
you're taking enough water. Let me ask at this point, what color of urine shows that you have enough water?
I think the less concentrated kind of the is it, what color is this? I don't know. Is it yellowish or something? But less concentrated. Am I
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, when you turn towards we use there are three types of yellow. There's
Mm,
dark yellow, then there's light yellow, then there's faint yellow, and
mm,
then there's transparent. So when you are having dark yellow, it simply means you're not having enough water. And then probably even the urine will have some pungent smell. So when you're having enough water, you should
mm,
not have pungent smell. Should be almost towards clear but not clear, slightly faint yellow, and not having a pungent smell. So when you notice you're having
mm,
that deep yellow color in the urine output, then it simply shows that your water intake is not enough. So you need to take more so that you don't produce that deep yellow coloration on your urine and that bad pungent smell. So those are just simple ways you can tell when you're not having.
I remember one time I went for some medical test, and the doctor told me your urine could be used for, is it so, I don't know, to test other urines. I didn't understand that. Like, he told me it's very clear. You do take a lot of water. No, no, I see. I'm not. Anyway, let's continue. Let's leave alone that. I know you want to ask me what they go for.
Again, becomes too clear. When again becomes too clear, it is not also a good. It shows you're having too much water, and having too much water again is also a problem.
Okay, so
When you have
with
too much water,
moderation.
yes, with moderation. When you have too much water, you may suffer a condition called hyponatremia. Hyponatremia is when there's very low sodium levels in your blood. So you don't want to find
Mm,
a condition where you're having hyponatremia. So yes,
all
sorry,
right,
I'm not
very much
technical.
understood.
Yes.
All right, let's go to point number. Let's start from one now. We have finished the last point, which was point number 4. Let's now go back to point number 1.
Okay. So point number one that in my order of listing was skipping meals to save calories. There are people who may want to skip meals as a way of saving calories, where saving calories simply means so that they don't take too much calories, or as a way of watching their weight. When you skip meals, you get the negative effect, the opposite effect. What do I mean the opposite effect? When you skip meals to lose weight, you'll end up adding more weight. Why? Because when I skip meals at, for example, say breakfast or lunch, the body has a compensation mechanism so that in your next meal when you sit down, then it tells you, oh boy, we missed lunch. Now we need to compensate.
Compensate. Pigia
Oh,
ngoli pole.
oh, yes. So most of the time, when you use skipping meals as a way to lose weight, you end up adding weight because now the psychosocial aspect of your brain will keep telling you that there's something that is missing. You need to do replacement theory. So you end up ingesting more. Even not just the memory part. The time will be emptier. Yes, you'll be emptier. So you'll not feel full faster compared to when you had a previous meal. So you end up ingesting more. So it's important that instead of skipping meals, you can do healthier snacks. You can have a yogurt drink. You can have a fruit smoothie. You can have a fruit salad. You can have and a fruit itself. You do something in between the meals so that you don't end up, skipping meals. Because when you skip meals, then you have increased hunger, you have spikes. For example, people with blood
Revenge.
sugar, yes, then you come back and revenge. And this now makes you end up making poorer choices later in the day. So it is important
Mm,
that you avoid skipping between this. Of course, to fix this, then you want to do things that are high in proteins and rich in fiber. The first 2 meals of the day, breakfast and lunch, you want to do a little bit of more proteins and a little bit of more fiber. Why more proteins? Proteins are broken down slowly within the body. So when they are broken down slowly, it means they release energy slowly, but for a longer time. So you will not feel hungry faster. When you take carbohydrates more, carbohydrates give you the feeling, they release energy fast. So they'll be depleted very fast from your system. So you still feel hungry again. You want to grab an extra chapati or mandazi or whatever. But proteins will release the energy slower over time. So it will help you to avoid um, those kind of things like skipping meat. So it's important also to work on your cravings, overeating, and giving yourself to unnecessary cravings. That is our mistake number. No, number one in
1.
order of my
Yeah,
list.
yeah. But our point number 2.
So our
Yes.
point number
Now.
two is
Mm.
uh-huh.
Yeah. No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, please.
Okay. So our point number two is on forgetting to include proteins in our meals, which is uh, a common mistake some people do during the festive season. So some people just want to take carbohydrates and carbohydrates and carbohydrates and carbohydrates, for example, forever. I'll give a simple Kenyan meal, for example, in our local setup. Many families in Kenya would easily do rice and beans and consider that carbohydrates and proteins. I'm sorry to say those are completely carbohydrates.
And
Another
rice and
common
beans,
food in Kenya.
carbohydrates, both one of them.
Yes, you got me
Uh,
right.
I
Another
thought they
common
belonged
food
to
that
different
Kenyans.
whatever.
That's why you're here to learn. That's why you're here to learn. You thought, but now I'm educating you.
Yes, please continue.
Another common meal Kenyans will do is rice and waru, or rice and ndizi, and think that's a complete meal. That is like eating ugali and rice. Purely
A serious,
carbohydrates.
they think that's a serious package.
That's a serious package of carbohydrates. And so there are sometimes when we do combination of meals, then it takes away the nutritional value of the meal, so that you end up with a lot of carbohydrates and carbohydrates and carbohydrates. Remember, in our previous conversation, we said too much carbohydrates leads to too much sugars. Too much sugar leads to too much fat in the body. Too much fat leads to storage of adipose tissue, which leads now to extra weight gain. Which is also, some people complain, I don't eat too much fat. Why do I get fat? Fat, a lot of it comes from the carbohydrates that we ingest. So it's important that we take, remember what I said previously, that proteins are first 2 meals of the day. You need to include proteins because proteins release energy slower but over a longer period of time. So you end up taking less and less. But the tricky part is also that too much of protein again may lead to extra weight gain. So it's a tricky balance that you need to see how to manage how much of protein that you take and how much of carbohydrates that you take. So that is our second mistake that you do. So to be able to fix this, it's important to add at least one protein content, food content in your meal every single time you sit down. For example, if it's your breakfast, if it's your lunch, if it's whatever, it's important you can add a protein source in your food that you take. But it's important also because remember I mentioned, I said that proteins are also a source of fat. So don't take two protein that are very high in fat. Protein that are high in fat are like beef, uh, fatty beef, canned fish, things like hot dogs, pork ribs, fish fillet, those kind of things. So you choose proteins that are have less fat. For example, if it's chicken, this one will cause now trouble if I say this. They recommend that if you take chicken, if you take without the skin, to reduce fat content. That will cause trouble.
Hey, you take out the skins.
I knew that would cause trouble.
Do you know how delicious that thing is?
I knew that would cause trouble.
Anyway, let's continue. Let me not invoke my cultural background, but let's just continue.
Please don't. So our mistake number 3 is overindulging in, again, alcohol and sugary beverages. Not just alcohol. I know I'd mentioned alcohol in my previous remarks, but sugary beverages are also a danger trap during this festive season. So sugary beverages include processed fruit juices, high fructose corn syrup, which is found in things like soda, instant drinks. Of course, just do yourself adding sugar in your drink. So these two groups of drinks, reason why it's there, a nutrition mistake is because they are loaded with calories upon calories upon calories. For example, beers and wine. A common situation that you'll find people who take beer, for example, is a common feature. I think, let me not mention it. What's a common feature you see people who take beer?
Pot belly.
Exactly. Everybody who takes beer will definitely have a pot belly. Why a pot belly? Because beer has a lot of calories. When you have too much calories, it will be stored, it will broken down and stored down in terms of fat. So some of these fat content, most of the time they're deposited around the tummy area, the belly area. So that's why you find people with take beer will have a pot belly. So this pot belly is risky your health. Why? Because the fat deposits around the kidneys and the liver, which will affect production of things like insulin, when you have a lot of fat deposits around your liver. That's why people have
Mm.
fatty liver syndrome. People who have problem with insulin resistance because of the fat deposits on the liver. So once they are deposited around that area, they'll affect the areas within the liver that produce insulin to regulate your blood sugar. So when you're taking too much beer and alcoholic drinks, then you put yourself at risk of things like diabetes because of developing insulin resistance or too little production of insulin. So it is important that you avoid or reduce your intake of alcoholic drinks and sugary drinks, not just alcohol, sugary drinks,
Mm.
sodas, like processed fruit juices, all these kind of drinks that are high in sugar content, because this sugar content will be broken down and be converted into fat, will affect your health. Uh, there's another common condition that is caused by the deposits of fat in the liver.
Mm.
Again, alcohol is still cause that liver cirrhosis. It will break down, it will burn down your liver beyond any repair, and then it will cause
Mm.
you more complications and more complications. Once your liver is broken down and has all those effects, then you are at risk of many other things. Remember, this can also affect your kidneys. When you take too much of alcohol, it affects the work of your kidneys. So when
Mm.
your kidneys are not functioning well, you know how kidney failure is quite a challenge in Kenya here, for example. Doing dialysis is not an easy thing. It's expensive, it's costly, it's traumatizing, it's a whole lot of an experience. You can avoid that dialysis by simply reducing your alcohol intake or cutting off alcohol intake from your diet. And not just alcohol intake, but also sugary drinks. Chris, I'm scaring you now.
Actually, no, I'm not scared. I'm learning a lot actually. Before we finish on that, because this was just the second part of the video we recorded earlier. Uh, to finish on that, are there any quick tips for bouncing back after, uh, especially for those who might in one way or another indulge themselves in holiday meals?
Remember, the next point that I wanted to talk about in the order
Mm.
of mistakes was letting your fitness routine slip, where because of the festive season you're not able to maintain your health routine, like if you're working out or if you're watching your meals or if you are taking care of your calories, you're taking care of the foods that you take. Some of the time you always lose your guard during the festive
Mm.
season. So how do I
Mm.
bounce back after merrymaking and the season of all these kind of things? Number one, it's important, for example, somebody who has been taking too much alcohol, it's important to detoxify the body. The easiest way to detoxify your body is simply take water. Take a lot of water. I see people drink all sorts of crazy things to detoxify the
Mm.
body. I don't know all those kind of things. But the easiest way to detoxify your body is taking a lot of water. The kidneys will do its function unless you have failed kidney. But if you take enough water, then it should be able to
Mm.
clear out some of these residues from your system. Eat healthier, take a lot of fruits and vegetables. After that period of binge eating, taking sugary drinks, taking proteins, and a lot of fats, this is the time now you want to take healthier fruits and vegetables. And of course,
Mm.
go back to your workout routine, for example. Working out also will help you to break down some of these fats, some of the accumulated chemicals in the system, and be able to restore your system back to healthy habits. So this is another way to bounce back to your health status. Plan to do a lot of workout sessions. Doesn't have to be in a gym really. It can be simple things that you do at home, skipping a rope, push-ups, Zumba on TV, those kind of things. So it's important also to incorporate a little physical activity to bounce back
Mm.
your health. I think that answers my last tip and your question as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, even as we start winding down, uh, before we wrap up, now, let's talk about you. You're an expert in nutrition, and I believe our viewers will really love to know more about the services that you people offer or that you offer, and that can help them stay on track even when they're on holidays or even after the holidays are over. Now, can you share what nutrition services you provide and how they can help someone uh, probably navigate challenges like the holiday season. And another one question that I will also ask: do you offer personalized plans that can help someone, and how much? Not really how much, because we don't want to talk about money, but how can someone get started with you?
Well, at where I do private practice at the moment. I offer a pool of services, nutrition services for different people and different categories of people who need nutrition care and nutrition management. We offer
Mm,
our services in three forms. Number one, we offer our services virtually. These are people who are not able to come to the clinic, for example, to access our service because of a distance, because of limitation in time, because of their, for example, their work. They're not able to come. So we can offer our services virtually using the different telemedicine. Number two, we offer a home-based care. Home-based care is where we come to your home. For example, you are nursing a relative, you are nursing a friend, you're nursing an old parent in your home, or whatever setup they are, because now many people nowadays prefer to nurse their patients at home as opposed to previously when they'll admit them in hospital. So we also offer home-based care
mm,
where to come to you and give you nutrition services. Number three, we offer inpatient care, in-person care, sorry. In-person care is where you walk into our clinic and then we are able to diagnose or see whatever condition that you're having and be able to attend to. So those are three modes of offering our services: virtually, home-based care, and in-person care. So these three modes of service that we offer different types of nutrition services. Number one, we offer you things like personal nutrition care. Personal nutrition care is where you come to us, we're able to diagnose you, we're able to find out what is a challenge that you're having, and we tailor make for you a plan, a meal plan, a dietary plan to be able to manage your situation. Maybe you just want to take care of your health goals for the year. You want to take care of your weight, for example, for the year. Then that will be able to handle. We offer nutrition tests and assessments. You know, science is one of the things that you can't wish away. So it's important that our
mm,
practice is grounded on science. So we do professional nutrition tests where we're able to do for you biochemical tests. We're able to do for you I mentioned body composition analysis at some point in this conversation. A body composition analysis is a machine, is a test is done through a machine called a body composition analyzer. A body composition analyzer is a machine that is able to break down your weight into different components of the body. Different components to include what? It's able to include your water content, because a percentage of your weight is water. A percentage of your weight is your bone mass. A percentage of
mm,
your weight is fat mass. A percentage of your weight is protein. A percentage of your weight again is the minerals. A percentage of your weight again is skeletal muscles. So you need a professional machine or test that is able to break down all these components of your weight into individualized components, so that even if I'm doing for you a meal plan, for example, I'm able to know that you have too much protein, you're having too much carbs, you're having too much fat, as opposed to just saying, well, umenona, you are overweight.
mm,
Overweight costs more.
mm,
So that is why you need a professional test to tell you that this
mm.
weight that you have, there are some of us who are just look overweight, but it's just all water. They get sick one day, then they shrink like this. You're like, hey, what happened to this? But we need a professional test in that regard. Remember
Mm,
also, we also do weight management. Weight management is not just people want to lose weight. And many times we say weight management, we think of people who want to lose weight. The people want to add weight. Wanakula kila siku and they don't add weight and don't need.
mm,
So under weight
mm.
management, you see,
That should be me.
I know. I was not attacking you. So under weight management, we have different individuals with different weight goals. There are people whose their goal is to add weight. There are people whose goal is to lose weight. There are people whose goal is to maintain weight. So you need a professional, a nutritionist to be able to help you to manage your weight in that regard. Of course, there are different approaches to that. There are people who prefer diet plan. There are people who prefer medication. There are medications to lose weight. There are people who prefer surgical options. There are surgical options to lose weight. There are people who prefer cosmetic options. There are cosmetic options to lose weight. All that is under weight management. We offer diabetic management for people with diabetes. We offer hypertension management for people with hypertension. We offer chronic disease management. Chronic disease are diseases like cancer, diseases like HIV, diseases without cure. Almost, let me say, terminal conditions. These are diseases that are long term, it's not have cure, but we are able to do nutrition management to help you. We also do nutrition in pregnancy and lactating women. We're able to help a mother to walk through her gestation period till birth to be able to take care of her nutrition need. Of course, we also do child nutrition review. Child nutrition review is just taking care of your child during her feeding age. Remember, a child 0 to 6 months is supposed to be purely breastfeeding, not consuming feed. They're supposed to only depend on the breast milk of the mother because of proven scientific research that breast milk is 100% sufficient to help a child from 0 to 6 months of age. After 6 months of age, we start weaning. That's how we introduce solid food to a child. You need an expert to help you to know which food to give your child from month 6 to month 7. Some of us just introduce foods to babies at this age. You start having allergies in children. You start having eczema. You start having reactions. You start having intoxications. Then it's important you have an expert take you through the weaning process of a baby. Month 7 to month 9 is a different stage of a child's life. There are foods that are introduced at this time of the age of the baby. Going to month
I think that's another serious topic altogether. I think we should handle that next time.
no,
Waiting them.
I know you are put between your grandmother's feet and they were holding your neck like this and they were
Yeah, and pouring the porridge.
and pouring body. I'm not talking
Uh,
about
and you cough, and the moment you cough and you have to cry, the porridge gets in, and you have to swallow it. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, so that is why it's important. There's a reason why many of the children were used to be fed like that. It's because we're giving kids wrong food. So they develop dislike for food at an early age. That is why feeding babies it used to be a struggle because you're giving them foods they don't want. So it's important you find an expert to take you through the right foods to give your baby and at what age. Kids are given foods at different ages and stages of their life. Of course, there are things.
Jeff, that one will be like, hey, yani nikuzae na bado una dictate chakula unataka kwa hii nyumba. Hey, hapana, utakula
That is
kenye
why,
nimepika.
that is why, that is why you need that expert to help you listen to your babies. Also, can communicate. It's only that they don't have
Mhm.
words at that time, but you need an expert to convert whatever the child is crying out loud for into expert advice. So, probably that can form a discussion next time. I'm just maintaining
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah. We have a lot. I had a lot that we can probably talk about next time. The weight thing, maintaining it, everything, and mostly the weaning part, and breastfeeding.
No, you're just
I know
you're
breastfeeding
just
the
looking for
formulas.
you're just looking for free advice for your baby. I'm seeing what you're doing.
She's grown. She's grown. She's now more than 1 year. Anyway.
And now, when you're feeding your baby, there are things like infant formula milks. How do you use
Mhm,
infant formula milk? How do I choose the right infant formula milk? At what time do I introduce infant formula milk? At what time should I stop
mhm,
infant formula milk? How do I notice when an infant formula milk is affecting my child? What are the signs to tell that this
mhm,
infant formula is not working for my baby? So that is also something that you may need to consider. And also, find the right expert advice to help you to choose the right infant formula for your baby. Remember also
mhm,
again, infant formula are also given at stages of life. The infant formula for 0 to 6, infant formula for 6 months, infant formula for 1 year, infant formula for it's an entire discussion.
sio millet, sorghum, maharagwe na mena and everything, changanyisha, weka maziwa, kula
You're
kula wewe
killing me.
kula.
Look, I think that is
Uh,
because
uh,
much information. We should go to
I, I think we're gonna hold that there. But even just speak closer. We were talking about supplements. I don't know whether we have time, but supplements are probably, I don't know, your professional take on supplements. Are they necessary or overrated? Maybe that will help, and then we close down.
I think that will be my last thing for today. I think supplements, as it is called, it's supplement. Supplement means add on top of. Add on top of means there's something that's already existing. So in this context, it's your food. So supplements cannot replace the position of food in your diet. So the
Mhm,
supplement is just to add on to the food that you're taking. And most importantly is to consider which type of supplement you're taking. And you need expert guidance to choose the right supplement for your need. And also to choose certified and globally acclaimed nutritional supplements. Remember, um, some of these supplements are not regulated. Some of them just come off the shelf, and you may risk get into intoxication. Remember, when you take excess of a particular nutrient, also may put you at risk of some diseases. For example, we do vitamin A supplementation for babies. If you do too much of vitamin A for a child, you may risk getting this child into blindness. They may get blind if you do too much of vitamin A supplementation, something we call retinopathy. Again, you don't want to do too much of supplements. So, a supplement is also a wide topic. Probably may have a day for it. But if you get a good nutritionist, they're able to help you to get certified nutritional supplements. They're able to do for you monitoring and evaluation. They're able to do for you monitoring and support. And remember the professional nutrition biochemical tests I talked about. A supplement intervention should be backed by a scientific biochemical nutrition test so that you identify the micronutrient deficiency, particular micronutrient deficiency that you're having. Then it will justify the need for that supplement. You don't just wake up and start taking calcium supplements or vitamin D supplement. For example, you guys in Australia, you may need a vitamin D supplement because of shorter daytime or exposure to sunlight. So may need a vitamin D supplement to complement such kind of thing. So it's also sometimes some of these supplements are localized because of ecological weather patterns and those kind of things. So it is important also to back supplementation with scientific medical nutrition tests. So supplements are not bad, but supplements are important. Only thing is that they need regulation, they need expert guidance and expert monitoring, because supplements are important. They help you to can speed your recovery if you're unwell. They can also improve your health, immunity. They can improve your overall well-being if well used. Remember, there are people also who aspiring parents in the future. There are also supplements that can help you to be a good parent in the future to a healthy baby. So there are also supplements for such goals in life.
Supplement that can help you to be a good parent. You just need a you just need an African mother or an African parent.
Let me use the Africa. I was trying to sound a little bit more civilized, but let me say the way it's said in Africa. In Africa, when a child is dumb upstairs, they're daft. They'll easily be told when mjinga kama nani.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say that. I want to repeat it.
Why do we equate daft children to their mothers? Sorry to use that word. It's because there are some particular nutrients that the mother may have missed during her period of conception and gestation, which will affect the cognitive development of this child. For example, the spinal, the what is called the central nervous system, the spinal cord, the brain, all these things that control the cognitive function of a child. They are developed within the first 2 weeks of a baby. So by week 1, week 2, the brain of the child is developed. The spinal cord, what you also call the CNS, central nervous system, they are formed within the first 2-3 weeks of conception. So if a mother does not have enough supplements, for example, fortunately in Kenya, it is given for free in hospitals, what we call the folic acid. You'll be given an IFAS. IFAS is iron and folic acid supplementation. So folic acid contains folate. Folate is all health information of the brain, the central nervous system, the what it is? Spinal cord. Yes, thank you, Mr. Daktari. So when a mother does not have enough of these supplements, enough of these nutrients, then they'll end up giving up to a baby who is daft. Daft not because hajafundishwa. It is a child who will be teaching and teaching, they don't get anything. It's because the brain was not formed with the right nutrients. So sometimes they have lower IQ, they have diminished cognitive function, they have less acuity. So again, when African husbands will tell kids when mjinga kama XYZ, to some extent, then it is I'm not misogynistic. I'm not trying to encourage
No, the other way around is also true because the other side will also say, "Where we need come back, blah 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 blah."
blah blah blah, and the likes continued. So it's a mistake that happens during conception and the early stages of life. Well, we call the window period of opportunity. When you do a mistake within the 1,000 day of life of a baby, then it affects this child for the rest of their life. Part of this mistake is poor supplementation. And this is why it's important also to work with a nutritionist during your nutrition and during your pregnancy area, your pregnancy period, called the gestation period, so that you get the right supplements at the different trimesters of your pregnancy. So that is too much content for one day. I think
I think let's just end it there. I think that's it for our episode today. That's it. That's it. That is too much information. We can have another session talking about those supplements and everything next time. But that has been a very very serious conversation that we have just had in the like the last since 30 something minutes. But thank you so much, Jeff Winston, for joining. Thank you so much. Say hi to your boss. I know you're going to work. I don't know.
I will definitely do that.
Anyway, remember to subscribe, like, share. Thank you so much. Have a good. Is it? Enjoy your festive seasons.
And follow us on our pages at Placid Nutrition Center on Instagram, on TikTok, on on X, on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on all of the major social media pages. So
is that the way someone can reach out to you easily and you will respond?
You'll find us easily on our social media pages. You can also find us on our WhatsApp number +254 794 770 770. You can find us. Go on email info@placidnutritioncenter.com. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff Winston. See you again next time.
Next time, buddy. Adios.